Hi everyone, welcome to today's VTuber Game Developer Open Q&A. Today we'll be covering a very special thing to import your custom avatars into Unreal Engine and to potentially try full body tracking options for this custom avatar. There are quite a lot of steps to achieve this workflow, so stay tuned for the full workflow, and I'll be providing some tips and tricks as it's different for every custom avatar. Hopefully this workflow will help you and inspire you to do it yourself. So let me just share my screen properly on Discord. Great. Now the stream is running pretty well. So without further ado, we've just released our newest VTuber tutorial series, and I'll show you a quick teaser for it before we explain the whole VTuber in Unreal Engine workflow. So right now, let's play this teaser. In this new Bounty series, we'll be learning how to build a VTuber stream from scratch. We'll be covering a few things, such as setting up a VTuber character in Unreal Engine, using different motion capture tools to drive character animations, streaming directly to major platforms like Twitch or TikTok, and building interactive events based on viewer engagements from your streams. For the past few months, we've been researching and experimenting with different VTuber workflows, and we can't wait to share these with you. So be sure to follow the rest of these tutorials to start VTubing from Unreal Engine and join our Discord for any updates. Amazing. So here's also a little sizzle to show you how to build an interactive VTuber stream in Unreal Engine. This is the first time we've captured all of this material from the previous VTuber Studio project and condensed it into a very simple workflow that anyone can do from scratch. So every tutorial is around 1 minute to 2 minutes long, and you'll be able to set up full body tracking, live link, stream to Twitch, and even get interactive events from Twitch, viewer engagement on Twitch to kind of generate different game object interactions. It's super interesting and also super easy to do. So really recommend checking out the tutorial series. So if you're wondering where this tutorial series is, I'm just going to quickly show you on YouTube. So this is the full Offworld Live playlist where you can click onto Offworld Live's YouTube, go into playlist, and have a look at how to build an interactive VTuber stream in Unreal Engine.
Are you still using?
So here I've got this loaded up already. You'll see how the basic kind of required software and requirements, importing a metahuman, setting up live link, doing full body webcam based mocap for your face and your full body, streaming to different major platforms, and also building interactive events with Twitch chat. And obviously a lot more is going to come in the future. So hopefully that will help you kind of think about how to stream through Unreal Engine. And for now, I'll be covering some really quick tips on full body tracking for custom avatars. I've written a few notes on here, but I feel like you might need to pause and maybe take a screenshot and maybe follow them on your own. For me, this is a super manual process, so these are just some tips, and it's not really tailored for all custom avatars, and as I know, you will have different skeleton conventions, you'll have different bone names, different kind of poses. Some characters are T-pose, some characters are A-pose. You'll also need to do a few steps to copy existing variables from the MetaHuman VMC animation blueprint that I've made into this. But a lot of this is just copying and fine-tuning animation blueprints, and here's just a guide. So first, you will be importing your custom avatar. For this tutorial, I'm using a DAZ Genesis 8.1 female character. And when you import, make sure to check import morph targets. You'll also need to create custom animation blueprints for your DAZ character. And so this animation blueprint will probably house both body animation blueprint information as well as the face. So the face is blend shapes, which means you'll also need to import those morph targets so that you can manipulate them real time. Next, you will need to have both animation blueprints opened up. So MetaHuman VMC animation blueprint is the blueprint that I have created specifically for XR Animator to work with metahumans. And you can do the same with these custom avatars. You will just need to copy all the variables from this animation blueprint, copy every node from the animation graph, copy every node in the event graph, and then in your scene, drag in these VMC receivers and VMC tick. When you drag your character into this maybe empty scene or any scene, you can add a live link skeletal animation component so that it will respawn in editor. And you'll also create a new control rig. So this really depends on your character. In your animation blueprint, you'll realize that even if you've copied all the variables, event graph or animation graph, the character will move, but some arms might move very weirdly. I'll demonstrate that in a bit. But T poses, if characters are A poses and the streamed data starts from a T pose, it means that the arms are going to bend really weirdly into the kind of like torso area of the character. And so with that, in the animation blueprint, you'll need to change the bone names, and these bone names will also have to be changed in the custom rig. And then this takes a bit of time maybe, but you'll be kind of rotating the rig to T-pose and making note of the changes at the rotation values in each bone, adjusting these in your animation blueprint and control rig, and there you go. So it's quite manual, but let's just go straight into it and see how we can make this happen. So I might not go through all the bones today because that's a lot of work, but let's start and have a crack at it, and maybe we'll continue next week. Right, so let's start. For starters, I have created, so if you followed the VTuber tutorials online, it's a very neat project that starts completely from scratch. So I'm using the minimal default map in starter content maps at the moment. And I've also made a copy of the minimal default map into minimal default 1. So as you can see here, I'm going to click into this, and I'm going to also delete this character so we can start together. So right now I have a completely empty scene. I've deleted all the furniture from the kind of like default values, default assets. And then I'm going to, so I have this custom avatar in my downloads folder. It's actually provided by a community member, and I'm just going to use this as an example to test. So for starters, I've got this DAZ character, which is a Genesis 8.1 female character. I've named it Custom Avatar FBX. When you drag this into the content browser, it will guide you to kind of import this character, let's say. So I'm gonna just quickly make a duplicate of this. and drag it in. The reason why I need to drag it in and show you the import settings is to remind you that you will need to, so first of all, make sure that skeleton is clear. So this will mean that we're generating a new skeleton that isn't conflicting with your metahumans or different avatars that you've created before. For this, the default settings should maybe have this unchecked, but as a test, I've just got this use T0 as ref pose. I've checked that, and this is also something I checked on my own. So import morph targets is a must. Make sure to check that. This is to ensure that you have access to all the facial animation controls. So morph targets are essentially blend shapes in other 3D software. Make sure to import them so you can then do interesting things like that. So I'm going to cancel this, but feel free to go ahead and import all, because I have already imported the character twice in my project actually. So I'm going to go ahead and drag in custom avatar 2 into my scene. So then I'm going to remove the things I've done and just start from scratch. So first I have this character in my scene. It's looking very nice. I'm now going to need to create a new animation blueprint so that I can get access to different bones and try to rotate them. And so I'm going to go into my content browser and click animation blueprint, and select the right skeleton that you have just imported. So right now I'm going to name this custom avatar 2 anim BP. So this is a new animation blueprint that's tied to your character. As mentioned, we will need to copy everything I've created previously from the MetaHuman blueprint into this animation blueprint. If you haven't got access to the MetaHuman VMC animation blueprint, I have actually created all these free assets for you to try out. We have the Twitch interactive plugin, and we have these essential animation blueprints for you to stream XR Animator or full body tracking data into your character. So now that we have the custom avatar animation blueprint open, I'm going to open the MetaHuman VMC AnimBP as well. Don't be scared by the kind of number of nodes in there, because you know that everything is already done, sort of. All you need to do is copy everything from your right to your left. So I've opened the split view, and hopefully this is a bit clearer for you. So what I'm going to do is copy Control-C over here, Control-V over here, Control-C, Control-V. Make this bit bigger. Control-C, Control-V, Control-C, Control-V, so on and so forth. So let me just do this super quickly. And just to be clear, I actually did not do this blueprint. This blueprint was kind of already created by developers for VRM characters, VRM4U blueprint plugin. I've modified a lot of it to make it work for metahumans, but this is definitely not something you need to understand really. It's just something to copy. So now I have the anim graph open, and I'm just going to Control-A this, Control-C, and then paste this onto my left. You'll see that everything's copied. Super, super, super convenient for me. And in each anim graph, it comes with an output pose. So this determines what gets output finally. I'm gonna link this up. Then before I compile, I'm just also going to click on event graph, Control A, and then go to event graph, copy and paste this. So now I will need to, yeah, that's all good, and it's looking completely fine. I'm gonna click something, we can kind of ignore the MetaHuman VMC animation blueprint now, so I'm gonna hide this for a while and expand on the custom avatar too. When you hit compile and save, you'll realize you have a lot of warnings. This doesn't really, so it's just a warning, everything is working. But when you go into the anim graph, you'll realize the warnings are highlighted around where they couldn't find the exact name for the bones to modify. So a quick explanation of this blueprint is that I'm constantly getting information via the XR Animator app, and the application is sending data to Unreal Engine via OSC, which is a kind of like connection to Unreal, and it also follows the VMC protocol. So it's basically originally designed for VRM characters, but don't worry about that. We're just going to dive straight into what it is. So in this kind of like bulk of data, I'm getting a specific bone rotation value, and then I am setting the rotation value on my character's bone. So as you can see here, this bone isn't recognized because that was following the MetaHuman bone name, and we just need to change them to the bone names in the Stas character. So a very quick way to test this, I think I'm going to ignore, so this box over here is left hand. I think I'm going to ignore everything else and just focus on my left arm at the moment. So left arm should be this arm over here. And I'm going to just connect local to component straight into my left hand pose. So what I'm actually going to do is test the hand over here first, just moving, should be fine to move like this. And after it streams from my left hand to left clavicles around like the left kind of torso area, just go from here to the bottom. So in the bottom, that's after the spine, it goes into component to local. Great. So what we're doing now is just streaming the rotation values of one single arm, left arm. So now I'll compile. Obviously, because we've just moved things around, we haven't actually modified anything. I'll go into the transform bone. On the right here, there's the details panel where you can select the left hand bone in Daz characters. So this one is my left hand. So in the kind of like Genesis 8.1 world, left hand is L hand. So I'm just gonna go for that. And then there's the lower arm L. I don't actually know how MetaHuman bones will translate to Daz, but this is just a try. So let's go with, so maybe something like forearm bend or forearm twist. Let's go with forearm bend, maybe. I'm actually going to check this. So lower arm bone in my character, I assume, sorry, I'm just going to change this to a really slow camera speed so that I can focus on left hand. So this is my left arm. left hand bone. So show in here, show character bones as well as bone names. Right, this is great information. So now I know that this is the left arm, a left hand bone. The next one up is the forearm twist and then the forearm bend. I think I'm going for the forearm bend, which is just this, for the lower arm, because I guess that controls the rotation of the lower arm. So L forearm bend is the value I'm going, it's the bone I'm modifying. And then the next one I'm going is the shoulder bend. So I'm going to upper arm is remapped to shoulder bend. So L shoulder bend over here. And I think that might be it for now. That might be it for now. So I might actually delete. I'm gonna just connect this directly to the end. And compile and save. Right. All right, and there's also something we don't have at the moment. If you can see in the MetaHuman blueprint over here, in the animation graph, it starts with something like input pose, and then control rig, and then local to component. We need this input pose first to go into the control rig. I'll explain what a control rig is in a quick moment, but I'm just going to go for input pose. So I'm assuming this is just an input pose from the character and linking to control rig. Great. And the control rig currently doesn't mean anything to us yet because we don't have something, we don't have a control rig that modifies our character's rig or their rotations. I might ignore it as well. Nice, and compile and save. Then we will need a few things. So first you will need the VRM4U plugin. VRM4U plugin. So once you download the newest release, unzip this plugin and just place it in your project's plugins folder. In here, I will have already shown you how to add VMC into your project. But just to start, you will need to go to plugins, VRM4U content. I think it's in here you will find util, actor, latest, and sub. And here we will need two things. We will first need two of these VMC receivers into the scene, so drag once and then drag twice. And then we will also need the VMC tick to drag this as well. So as you can see in my scene, I've got VMC receiver 1, VMC receiver 2, and VMC tick. Second, I'm going to open up XR Animator right now. So I'm just going to open up on Electron app on my other screen, and I'll show what's happening on XR Animator super quickly. So I'm pressing start here. It will find my webcam and start streaming information into Unreal when I enable it. But first, as a starter, we will need to create this live link, add this live link skeletal mesh animation component and click auto activate. I realize this is just much easier for a skeletal mesh to update animation in editor. I actually don't know why. I've seen this in a tutorial ages ago and it's just helped me perfectly. So now this is XR Animator. We've got a slightly modded version with custom icons, but I'm gonna go for set up my webcam. So it will choose my integrated webcam. And then we will also go for motion capture option. And to be honest, we're only gonna need body information because we're streaming just the arms at the moment. So let's keep it clean and go for body only. But as you build this up, you can use the full body media pipe task version, which is great. So I think I need to move here and calibrate. Now you can see that the XR Animator is responding to arm rotation like this. So this is great. Easy tracking option based on webcam. Finally, we'll need the VMC protocol to be on. So I will click on VMC and make sure that this is on. Now everything is on and working. With this, I'm going to switch back to Unreal. So in here, the first VMC receiver, I need to set the port to 39539. And the reason for that is that under my VMC settings, the kind of like port to send to is 39539. So we need to listen in on that server. Next receiver, you don't have to change anything. The default settings is 39540. So just change the first one to 39539. And then you also have the VMC tick. Just leave it there. I don't have to I think I don't have to fiddle with any of the settings. When you go server listen, oh, sorry. One thing I forgot to do is to go into custom avatar animation and use animation blueprint and click the, find the custom avatar to animation blueprint that I've just created. Right, so now you see that VMC receiver is working and listening. And I'm gonna also open up this to see how weird this looks. So right now my arms are completely like idle and not working, and it should be pointing vertically down, but the character thinks that it's bending that way. And when I go into a T-pose, which for characters should look like this, it is an A pose in the Daz character. So if you know, so what this means is that if I rotate this character, so if I move my arm up, sorry, it's a bit dark here. If I move my arm up completely, so from here to here, you will see that it's kind of like got this 45-degree-ish rotation that it's missing. So all we need to do is to create a control rig to add that rotation manually to make this mocap work. It's actually super simple in concept, but we just need to fiddle with a lot of control rig, and we just need to do it. So I don't remember too much how I did the last one, but I have created a custom control rig for my custom avatar. So I'm going to do the same here. I think it comes control rigs. Control rigs are, you can create them by right-clicking on your skeletal mesh and then creating a control rig based on this. Right, so it's already created a one for me. save selected. And just to save computer power, I'm going to go server stop this for a while. So now I have got a control rig over here. This is currently in empty space. What I'll need to do is go to MetaHumans in the same kind of like in the same kind of trio of assets I have uploaded on Google Drive. You'll find the MetaHuman T-pose solver. Previously, we've done the same thing with MetaHumans so that MetaHumans can be translated to a T-pose so that XR Animator can communicate with MetaHumans that way. So what we'll need is just a T-pose solver. Again, maybe this will work. I'm just gonna Control A, copy, and paste it in. So maybe I'll move the just need to highlight. So copy this and find the first node, forward solve, and link all of them up. It should be super simple here. Set rotation on left hand. Oh, sorry, this is the right arm. So the structure of this control rig is right arm, everything on the right is at the top and everything on the left is at the bottom. So left clavicle is, I guess, left shoulder. So we need to find left clavicle. Left. Collar, maybe. I need to find out left clavicle. Need to again do the same thing on. Can change show character bone names. Then camera seed settings. Yeah, get them to low. I guess that's the left collar. So left collar. You'll see that everything's now bending back. So we need to kind of remove this and make sure that the location, make sure I switch back all the rotation to 0. I'm going to compile first. Right, so I'm not going to change, so this control rig comes with different values that have already been changed, so we just need to set that up. So upper arm left, as mentioned, is the left something bend. Left upper arm bend. I forgot what the name is. Let's have a look. Left shoulder bend. So left shoulder bend is the upper arm. And then left arm bend. Left forearm bend. Then left hand is L hand. Remember that? Cool. When you hit compile, you'll see probably weird rotations. Let's have a look. Cool. It hasn't done anything, but what we need to do is then actually rotate the shoulder bend so that it points, it's going to go move up the way we want. The quickest way to do this is maybe kind of like move to the skeleton and just rotate it manually and then set the settings there. Right, so I'm going to do that super quickly. Let me click on the skeleton. There's a lot of information here we can play with. What we need to do is make this into a T-pose. So we're changing the blue. We're changing the blue blue. I don't know what to call this, but we rotate this by maybe like 40, 45, maybe 50. And then we copy the value over here. And then in value, paste this. Hasn't done anything. We need to do that manually then. Okay, so on the right side and that on the left side. We need to modify the upper arm custom avatar control rig and set the left forearm bend values to this. So that. And I really hope this will work. Oh. Oh, that's the left, sorry, shoulder bend. It's shoulder bend and not forearm bend. Click on the wrong one. Right. Shoulder bend. Do this again. Compile. Great. So now it's a T-pose. We'll do the same on the right side, but before we do that, let's check that it's definitely working. So this is a control rig, and we'll leave the warnings for now. What we need to do is go back to your custom avatar animation blueprint, go into control rig, I believe. Click on control rig. And in control rig, you'll need to find the right control rig class. So this is custom avatar 2 control rig. I'm going to find just this really quickly. Custom avatar 2. I think I've already done that. Custom avatar 2, and then link them back to between in pose to local to component, compile. Right, that's worked. So really what we need to do is just go back to VMC receiver, open up XR animator, that's me. Go to VMC receiver, server listen, and now it's all working fine. Sorry, you can't see me yet. So one thing I'm not getting yet is the twists. I'm gonna do that a bit later, but now it's actually still got the same issue. It's a bit better. I think maybe I haven't compiled it just yet, but let me do this properly. Oh, so it's working in my animation blueprint now. So let's have a look at that directly. And so once you get the T-pose, really, all of the other rotation should work completely fine. That's the only difference you need. So super happy about this. It's worked really well. Just for starters, I'm just gonna do the right arm as well. And go to skeleton, expand this, rotate this by 50, I think. And the blue axis by 50. Right, so now we have right collar, our collar. Our shoulder bend. Our forearm bend. And our hand, right hand. Beautiful. Compile. And then one thing you'll see that is maybe the collar has some preset values that we're gonna go back to default on. And then in the shoulder bend, apply the values on the left. To here. Oh, great. This should all be working. So now, in my animation blueprint, I need to stop the MC receiver because that will help with performance. Going into Unreal. Got lost for a second. Going back to the custom animation blueprint, you'll see that both of my arms have a perfect T-pose now, so that's all lovely, lovely stuff. I'm actually going to link up left hand to the right hand, which is over here. I'm actually going to forget the fingers because I don't think that's really necessary at the moment. Right, perfect. A basic kind of tip is that streaming rotation really requires that you stream from the end of the body, so over here, the ends of the body to the middle, so that you're applying rotation. You're not kind of like rotating your shoulder first before rotating your arm, because that would kind of like multiply or like add rotation to rotation. I don't know if that makes sense. So you need to first, there's an order and logic to rotating first the ends of the body so that it makes sense. It's just some kind of like basic rule of thumb there. So now I've linked up the left arm to the right arm. I'm going to have our hand over here to our forearm bend to our shoulder bend. And then think we can actually keep this as our collar. Left collar for the left arm. Connect this. And then right collar for the right arm. Just to keep things tidy and keep as much information as possible. So left arm, right arm, and then we're going into next the feet, left foot and right foot. Drag this around, left foot, left leg, right leg, and then finally it's the spine, the middle bit, always the last, and then to the end. Nice. So I'm gonna drag all of these back in here. So now it's much tidier. I'm just gonna link everything up. As you can see, it is manual, but once it's done, I'll also share this animation blueprint on Google Drive. So we've done the left arm and the right arm. Now we're gonna do left foot to left foot. So I think we're gonna forget all the twists and just go from L foot, I guess, to calf, which is probably left shin, and then left thigh would be thigh bend. Let's see if this works. Our foot, our shin, and then our thigh bend. Finally, spine. Actually, do have to check. Don't know what spine 5. These are all named by like the areas instead of the spine. So I'm just gonna open up MetaHuman and look for character bone names. Please. Character bone names. I'll be able to see this in MetaHuman skeleton. So open up MetaHuman and owl, female, medium, normal weight, body, and skeletal mesh. Oh, I think it's called MetaHuman skeleton. MetaHuman base skeleton. Perfect. So show character bones, bone names. So one is the hip. 2, opening this up on the left side and right side. Bone is the hip. So spine 1, pelvis, that's right. Spine 2 is abdomen lower. Really guessing here. That's just, and then spine 4. It's like maybe abdomen upper. And then chest lower. Oh, there's not enough. The pelvis is there. And the pelvis is probably right as well. So lower, upper, chest lower, and pectoral. There's so many bones. Lower. Five. Spine 5 is the chest upper. So chest upper. So something must be chest lower. So the 4, I would say, could be, so we're missing a 3. 3 could be abdomen. I don't know. Actually, let's just leave it here. I don't think there's that much rotation on the hips, so let's go for this right now. And now we should have a fully working body. If we go back to here, VMC receiver, listen. Oh, so it hasn't updated. Don't worry, I'm gonna set this up. Go to custom avatar 2 animation blueprint. Should refresh it. Perfect. Save. And this is our time to shine. Great. it's working. So we will, since it's already been an hour, we're gonna stop there for a bit and continue next week to get access to Face. We've already, I think you'll be able to kind of take this as a reference and set rotations for hands and fingers. But for now, I'm going to leave it here and then get the face working next week together. Thank you so much for tuning in and hope that was really useful. I know it's a bit long, but totally worth it. So thank